Who's calling me? Oh, it's Mickey. Hey, Mickey, what do you want?
Hey, Jar, how you doing?
Thanks for asking. I've actually been doing fantastic. After all, I finally reviewed every live-action Disney movie and TV show.
I hate to break it to you, Jar, but, I made another one.
What? No! Wait, is this like the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian or Andor?
No!
Well, I guess I could review it. After all, I do make a living off of your terrible movies and shows.
Awesome! I should be out of the hospital by the time you review the last episode.
Oh yeah, I forgot you got shot in the Black Rock episode.
Yeah, that bullet really did a number on me. It revealed to me my own mortality. With my limited time on this planet, I need to ruin Star Wars even more. My ESG scores are going through the roof with the the Acolyte. The main character is a black woman, and it's really, really gay.
Well, good on you, Mickey, but, where are you supposed to go from here?
I'll cross that road when I come to it.
You don't know, do you?
No.
Okay, Mickey, this skit has gone on for far too long. I'm just gonna review the show now. Okay, so before we begin, I just want you guys to know that I'm visiting my parents in California, so I might sound a little bit different in this video. I know I said I was gonna review Season 2 of Velma, but The Acolyte is more relevant right now, so I'm gonna review it first. After all, I promised you guys I would review every single live-action Disney Star Wars movie and TV show. Even before I watched the first episode, I knew I wasn't gonna like this show. Aside from Andor and the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, I haven't enjoyed anything Disney Star Wars has made. Well, that's not true. I did enjoy the first 5 minutes of The Force Awakens, but for the most part, Mickey has disappointed me over and over with Star Wars. I'm sure just like with Last Jedi, Kenobi, and Ahsoka, there's gonna be a lot of people defending this show at first, and then slowly over time they'll disappear. The showrunner is Leslie Headland. Yes, her last name is Headland. Not the worst last name I've ever heard, but it's pretty bad. She's known for turning a blind eye to the evil actions of Harvey Weinstein. Now, I did have some hope for this show because it's not focusing on characters we know very well, like Kenobi or Boba Fett. Instead, it takes place 132 years before the Battle of Yavin. Aside from Yoda, no one else we know from Star Wars would be born yet. And when Disney Star Wars is about characters we don't know about, like The Mandalorian or Andor, they tend to do a good job. Even if this show is absolutely terrible, it's not gonna ruin any characters I love, except for maybe Yoda. Oh god, Mickey hasn't ruined him yet. I see why he made this show now. This gave me just a little bit of hope that this show would be good. But then I saw the marketing for this show, with such lines like, "The Acolyte has made sci-fi safe for black nerds." We've had black people in Star Wars before. Lando, Mace Windu, the captain of the Naboo Guards, and they were all awesome characters. Disney, on the other hand, completely wasted Finn. And don't even get me started on Reva. They complained about men over and over and over again, as well as bigots. They attacked Star Wars fans and talked about how gay the show was. And then they talked about how gay the show was again and again. Every time a show's marketing focuses more on the diversity of the show and not the actual story or characters of the show, I know they made a very bad show, and they need to use diversity as a shield from criticism. It's as if studio heads are like, this script is really bad. I got an idea. Let's throw a bunch of women and minorities in it. Brilliant! That way we can accuse people who don't like the show of being bigots. And we will get our ESG score up. Alright, it's time for me to review the first episode of The Acolyte. The episode starts off with that oh-so-classic yellow, blue Star Wars text. I didn't know this was LEGO Star Wars. 100 years before the rise of the Empire, it was a time of peace. Now, if you read the tie-in Disney Star Wars comics, then you would know this was not a time of peace, because it's never a time of peace in Star Wars. The Jedi Order and the Galactic Republic have prospered for centuries without war. Ironically, wars can be very good for economies. Just look at how much technology advanced after World War I, World War II, and the Cold War. But in the dark corner of the galaxy, a powerful few learned to use the Force in secret. One of them, a lone assassin, risks discovery to seek revenge. As far as opening text goes for Disney Star Wars shows, this is actually one of the better ones. Don't get me wrong, it does have its problems, but compared to a lot of other shows I have reviewed, it's one of the better ones. However, I still think this episode would have been better without the opening text, because it just tells us what we're about to see. The assassin is a black woman, and no, she is not the main character, she is the twin sister of the main character. Yep, Mickey really wants to get his ESG score up. Let's just hope she's a better villain than Riva. This assassin decides to walk into a bar full of people in broad daylight, and also remove her hood. Yep, Ezio, she is not. Hell, I don't think most low-rank assassins from Scissor 7 would be this bad at stealth.
Attack me with all your strength.
Oh my god, that is so goofy! Even the people in the bar are laughing at her. A scene like this would work in something like Baki, but in a live-action Star Wars show, it's just goofy. Also, yes, the Jedi she is threatening is Trinity from Matrix. Yeah, she's a pretty big actress. I sure hope they don't kill her in the next 5 minutes, because that would be a complete waste of casting. The assassin and the Jedi get into a hand-to-hand brawl. Yeah, a lot of the fights in this show are more like Matrix and less like Star Wars. Although I won't lie, Kung Fu Jedis are a pretty cool idea. The Jedi does eventually ignite her lightsaber and the assassin says,
A Jedi doesn't pull her weapon unless prepared to kill.
That's completely untrue. The first time we've ever seen a Jedi use a lightsaber in any Star Wars movie was when Ben Kenobi cut off a guy's arm. He wasn't trying to kill the guy, he was just trying to, disarm him. We've also seen Jedis use their lightsabers as glow sticks, lockpicks, and to block laser fire to protect someone but not to kill anyone. After all, lightsabers are an elegant weapon from a more civilized age. The Jedi gets a hold of the assassin and takes her pandemic mask off. Only then does she recognize her. I've never understood this concept in movies and shows. Oh, you're wearing a mask over your mouth. I can't tell who you are. Usually, I can tell who someone is by their build, their hair, their eyes, and a lot of other things, but I usually can't recognize people from just their mouth. The assassin throws a knife at Sid from Ice Age. The Jedi uses the Force to stop the knife, but then she's stabbed through the stomach, and because it's not a lightsaber, it actually kills her. Yep, in both Kenobi and Ahsoka, we've seen people get stabbed in the gut with a lightsaber, only to walk it off. But apparently they can't survive getting a knife to the gut. Yep, Disney Star Wars has established that knives are more deadly than lightsabers. Now the Jedi more than likely saw this attack coming, and she made a heroic sacrifice to save an innocent civilian. But this is dumb because that assassin is gonna go on to kill even more people, and with one less Jedi in the galaxy, a lot more people are gonna die. Hell, the assassin decides to kill this guy anyways, but then she sees his kid and oh dear god, I wish I didn't say this alien looked like Sid from Ice Age because his kid looks way more like Sid. But yeah, she decides to spare him because he has a family, even though she's probably killed lots of people with families, but whatever. We see this girl who looks like the assassin get up from her bed. Now it's not the assassin, it's her sister.
Hi, sisters!
Who also has the same hairstyle as her, even though they haven't seen each other in years. I will say one thing, if you haven't done research into this show, this is actually a pretty good fake out. She says a good morning to her little pocket droid Hip. Hip is basically a combination of a Swiss Army knife and an iPhone. Every single Jedi main character in Star Wars has to have a droid, and I won't lie, I like how unique this one is from the others. I should also explain that this girl's name is Osha, and her twin sister's name is May. I'm just bringing this up so you guys don't get confused later. I won't lie, this is pretty good world building. I'm actually kind of liking this show so far. Maybe it won't be that bad. I will say, however, the Neimoidians look worse than how they did in Star Wars Episode 1. I understand that's a movie and this is a show, but that movie came out like 2 decades ago. Osha comes across, fire on the outside of the ship. Okay, this is not a big issue. After all, explosions look different in space, yet they look the same on Earth in Star Wars. And there's no sound in space, yet there's sound in space in Star Wars.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Keep in mind, Star Wars is science fantasy. It's not a hard sci-fi like The Expanse. She experiences a bit of PTSD, even though she's probably seen lots of fires in her line of work. At this point, she really should consider getting a different job. A Jedi by the name of Yord and his Padawan show up. Yord is played by an actor who thinks Anakin blew up the Death Star.
Why would we have mechanics here? The Republic has legislated that only droids may perform outer ship repair.
Huh, I like this scene. It shows that even back then, the Trade Federation only loosely followed the Republic's laws. Then the Jedi threatens to use the Force on the Neimoidian. I thought these guys were peacekeepers. They were not this aggressive in any of the movies. I get that this show is trying to show that the Jedis and the Sith aren't that different. They're a lot more morally gray than you might think. But in order to make that point, they have to have the Jedis act like Sith. The Jedis in the prequel movies were arrogant and complacent, but they weren't going around threatening people. Osha greets Yord like an old friend, and that's because they are old friends. She used to be a Jedi, he used to be a Padawan, and now he made it all the way to Knight. This old friend of hers decides to reach for his lightsaber, clearly threatening her. Yeah, because of what her twin sister did, she's the primary suspect. But this is dumb for a lot of different reasons. The Jedi Temple offered both her and her sister to join, so they know she has a twin sister. Also, she's only been gone from her workplace for a day. Yes, people can travel through the galaxy using hyperspeed, but it's not the instant transmission. These ships are not teleporting, they're just moving really, really fast. It still takes you time to get to where you need to go, and to get back. So it's absolutely ridiculous to assume that she traveled to where the Jedi is, tracked her down, killed her, then got back to her place of work in a day. Also, yes, her being absent from work on the exact same day the murder took place is a super convenient thing that happened for the plot to move forward.
You lost your entire family. Your mothers, your sister, your village all died in the fire before Master Soul brought you into the Jedi. Your training was difficult, to say the least.
Why are you telling her this? She already knows this stuff. Yes, we the audience don't know about this stuff yet, but this is a very clunky exposition dump. Osha even points out that he knows this already, so even the writers are aware that this is bad writing. Yes, it is brought up that she died in a fire, but it's far more likely that she survived than Osha killing a Jedi Master. And yes, you heard that right, mothers plural. And no, there is no father or even a sperm donor, but we'll be getting to that a little bit later. They arrest her along with her droid. I don't know why they're taking the droid along with them, but I'm sure it's gonna lead to something super convenient so the plot can move forward. We cut to a Master Jedi, and is he played by the guy from Squid Games? We get the line from the trailer about not trusting what you see. But yeah, he was Osha's old master and he has a new Padawan. He could have dumped all of this exposition onto his new Padawan, but whatever. Another Jedi Master explains the situation to him.
If it were to become public that a former Jedi killed one of our own,
Our political enemies could use it against us.
Aside from the way she looks, most of the evidence you have shows that she wasn't the one who did it. Also, aside from one guy in a bar along with his kids seeing what she did, no one else knows what happened. So even if word about this does get out, the guy can only tell so many people. Osha, despite being a Force user who many people believed killed a Jedi Master, is put on a generic prison ship. With no prison guards, just droids. Wow, it's almost like the Jedis put her on the ship so she could escape. Yes, I know I say the word escape weird, you don't have to tell me in the comments section. The droids are so bad at security that two criminals talk loudly about how they're totally gonna escape.
No one will ever know! No one will ever know! No one will ever know! No one will ever know!
Yeah, they plan to take out the droids and use the escape pods. I don't know why a prison ship has escape pods, and I don't know why they're using the escape pod instead of taking over the entire ship, but whatever. The prisoners offer Osha to join their escape plan, but she says no because she has faith in the Jedi. A cyborg prisoner on the ship hacks the droids, because of course he does. This might be the least secure prison ship in all of Star Wars. This drops the ship out of hyperspace and it crashes into a bunch of asteroids. You know, Disney has already established the Haldo maneuver, so if they didn't drop out of hyperspace, wouldn't the ship blow up if it hit that asteroid? Also, I don't see why these prisoners asked Osha to join their escape plan, because their plan seems to work fine without her. A dude with a tentacle on his head grabs one of the droids, then uses his hand to unlock the cells. I don't know why the prison guards didn't restrain this alien's tentacle, but I guess they just wanted their prisoners to escape. They don't free Osha because she didn't want to join in on their plan. And honestly, yeah, I would have turned her down as well after she refused plans to join my crew. The ship keeps getting hit by asteroids up to the point that the storage locker opens up and her droid Pip falls out of it. Yep, the Jedi's only brought it on board with her so she could use it to escape. She tries to reach for it, but her arms aren't long enough. But then she remembers she can use the Force. But then she remembers that she can't actually use the Force. You can say a lot of things about Osha, but she certainly isn't a Mary Sue. Even Luke Skywalker could force pull his lightsaber to him without any training. I don't think it was by her choice that she left the Jedi Order. I think they just kicked her out because she sucks. So if she sucks at using the Force this much, how is she gonna get out of this? Well, a super convenient thing happens for the plot to move forward. An asteroid hits the ship and moves her little droid even closer to her. She's reunited with her dear friend the droid and she rips off his head? What? Okay, at first I thought this was a super dark turn, but she didn't actually kill the droid, she just pulled out a tool to use. On her way out, she saves one of the prisoners, but he is a white man, so he of course betrays her. Because he took the last escape pod, she crashes on a planet and dies. Huh, the Acolyte was shorter than I expected. Never mind, she survived. We cut back to the Jedi Master from Squid Games. He's looking at a hologram of his old Padawan, but then his current Padawan comes in and says, "Nostalgia will lead you to the dark side." I don't remember that ever being established in the sequels, but whatever. Master Squid Games goes to where all the prisoners got recaptured. Oh my god, the Jedis knew the security on that ship was absolutely terrible, so they just waited for the prisoners to get off of it so they could recapture them. He uses Force Mind Trick to get the information out of them, and he realizes that his old Padawan actually saved someone. Osha hallucinates a younger version of herself, but it's not a younger version of herself, it's her twin sister. Yeah, this is where we finally get the reveal.
Master Soul, I thank you for choosing me for this mission. I should have...
Ha ha ha! Oh, that's pretty awkward! The Jedi arrive on the snow planet before Osha has a chance to leave the ship. Holy shit, was hyperspace just faster back then? How did they get there so fast? Keep in mind, they did not go straight there. They had to pick up all the other prisoners first. One thing I will say I like about this show over the prequels is the Jedis have a lot of different personalities between them. In the prequel movies, they all kind of had the same stoic personality. But in this show, there's actually diversity between them. Osha decides to make a run for it, even though she's on a snow planet and really has nowhere to go. I guess she just really wants to freeze or starve to death. The Jedis managed to track Osha down, I guess the Force guided them or something, but Osha doesn't want to be a prisoner, starve to death, or freeze to death, so she jumps off a cliff. In Minecraft, calm down YouTube. But Master Squid Game catches her with the Force. I guess it was a pretty stupid idea to run away from, 3 Jedis. By the way, she didn't jump off the cliff intentionally. She was just so stupid that she kept on backing away until she fell off the cliff. And yes, she knew the cliff was there. Disney Star Wars, I know you guys have made a few too many Mary Sues, but this is a bit too far in the opposite direction. We cut to Osha's sister, the Acolyte. She meets up with a Sith Lord who says that an Acolyte kills without a weapon, even though she killed a Jedi Master with a weapon, but whatever. Then he turns on his lightsaber for no reason and the episode ends. You know, I gotta say, after I've seen Kenobi, Ahsoka, and Mandalorian Season 3, this wasn't actually that bad. It's no Andor or the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, but it's only as bad as Book of Boba Fett so far. I only got 7 more episodes to go. I think I can make it through this pretty easily. Wait a second, there's a lot of time left. My god, the credits go on for 4 minutes!
Oh, hey, Jor, how's your review of The Acolyte coming along?
Well, so far it's not as bad as Ahsoka, Kenobi, or Season 3 of The Mandalorian, but it's certainly worse than Book of Boba Fett.
I bet your biggest complaint was about the fire in space, right?
No, it really wasn't, and I'm gonna hang up now, Mickey, because, I'm not a nostalgia critic and I don't want to do this skit with you. Bye. Episode 2 of The Acolyte begins on this planet called Omega. The assassin girl is on this planet to kill another Jedi. She parks her ship on the outskirts of town, which is actually a smart thing for an assassin to do. Then she decides to hire a little girl for no reason other than for her to be a witness. Huh? Yep, the only reason why she hired this little girl is because it's a super convenient thing that happened for the plot to move forward. The little girl throws a bunch of rocks at this, wall droid's head to get its attention. For some reason, the assassin girl couldn't throw rocks herself, but whatever. The droid tells the little brat to piss off, and the assassin lady throws this hacking thing onto the top of the droid's head, even though the top of the droid's head was already sticking out from the wall, but whatever. Yep, this entire scene exists so the little girl can snitch on the assassin lady later on.
What was even going through the mind of the Sith assassin?
I could just place this hacking tool on the droid's head, but I would rather have him see me do it first. But how should I go about getting his attention? Oh, I could throw rocks at him! But I don't want to get my hands dirty, so I'll hire this little girl to do it for me. God, I am truly the best assassin in the galaxy.
The assassin girl proceeds to embarrass herself. Yeah, this goes on for a while, and don't get me wrong, the effects look decent, but it's being wasted on a very pointless scene. The assassin girl hears someone coming, so she decides to hide. Oh no, wait, she decides to climb out through a window on the roof. Like, at first I thought she was hanging onto the roof, but the guy looking for her does something that most people don't do in movies and looks up. Don't get me wrong, this was a pretty good fake out, but on the other hand, it's dumb. If there's a hole in the roof above the Jedi, then why didn't she go through there instead of the front door?
Now you might say, well, she just discovered a hole in the roof now.
If that's the case, then she's terrible at reconnaissance. And also it's dumb that this Jedi Master that is supposed to be guarded has an open hole above him that people can use to assassinate him. Keep in mind, another Jedi Master was already killed, so the Jedi should be on high alert. By the way, this is not the only opening to this room. You see those stairs in the background? Yeah, they also lead to another exit. The assassin just walks right into the building. There are other people in the building, but despite the fact that they have never seen her before, they just let her go about her merry way. She finds the Jedi she was looking for, and I've never seen someone who looked so masculine, yet so feminine, so pretty, yet so ugly, so young, yet so old, all at the same time. He's played by the same actor from Game of Thrones, so I'm just gonna call him Master Game of Thrones. I'm not gonna bother to remember his name because, spoiler alert, he dies in this episode. Just like in episode 1, despite being an assassin, she decides to challenge him to a fight in a very Baki sort of way. But Master Game of Thrones is incredibly based and red-pilled, so he has no time for women.
Hello? Base department?
By that I mean he ignores her because he's in this floating trance. Oh god, I meant to say trance, I swear. She tries to punch him, but he's surrounded by this force field. Yep, it's another Jedi ability that we've only seen in the games and in the comics, but never in live action. It's a force ability that was never used in any of the mainstream Star Wars movies or live action TV shows. But it's an ability that would have been very useful at several different points. For example, Kenobi could have used his ability to protect his clone troopers, but he decided not to. We cut back to Master Squid Games and the other Jedis. Padawan Jackie is trying to fix the ship. No, we were not told that there was a problem with the ship in the last episode, and it seemed to land on the planet fine, so the only reason why they can't get it up and running is so they can't catch up to the assassin lady on time. Our strong female protagonist decides to tell the Padawan what the problem is with the ship. She could have told her the problem sooner, but I guess she didn't because she thought it was funny. The Jedi Knight still thinks that the female protagonist is sus. He could confirm his suspicions by trying to read her mind, but he decides not to. Master She-Hulk tells Master Squid Games that someone just tried to kill Master Game of Thrones. Our heroes decide to go and save him. They could tell the Jedis that are with him to be on high alert for an assassin, but they decide not to. Oh, and they bring Osha with them even though she's a suspect. Now sure, we the audience knows that she's innocent, but they don't know if she has a twin sister, or that there's another assassin trying to kill the Jedis, or if Osha is working with the assassin. The Jedi Knight brings up all of these concerns.
I must protest over not restraining the prisoner. She has escaped once before.
You think this killed your daughter?
You don't. Even if her sister was alive, May would not have the training to defeat a Jedi Master.
Which I haven't trained in 6 years.
Let's say this twin theory holds true. They could be working together.
Yoda, don't let fear affect your judgment.
But the writers treat him as if he's being unreasonable.
Osha is coming with us. I believe she can help. Master, Osha is not. The Jedi agree with me.
The assassin lady meets up with who I presume is her Sith master, and he's played by, Ezra Miller's younger brother. But then it's revealed he's not actually her Sith master, he's just some guy. I will say one good thing about this episode. I love the line about peace being a lie. That's a great callback to Knights of the Old Republic. She tells him that the Jedi Master is impenetrable. And he makes her a poison. No, it's not to be used as poison gas that will seep through the shield. Instead, she just brings it to the Jedi Master, tells him to KYS a Minecraft, and he drinks it. No, I'm not joking. That's actually what happens. The Master Jedi is not at peace, so he wants to KYS. For some reason, he did not try to KYS before he met the assassin girl, but I guess she told him that the poison was cherry flavored, or said that she would expose him on Twitter if he didn't drink it. I know they say that he actually hasn't found peace, he just believes he did, but I'm pretty sure he has found peace. He's been meditating in the air for a decade straight. If anything, this is the most impressive feat we've seen from a Jedi in live action ever. Master Squid Game says to Osha, "Hey, do you think your twin sister is behind the murders?" And she looks at him and says, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. The assassin gets to Master Game of Thrones by going through the hole in the roof. On the one hand, at least she wasn't an idiot and went through the front door again. But on the other hand, the Jedis guarding him decided to not close that window after they suspected someone was trying to kill him. And why didn't she go through the window in the first place?
Drink the poison!
No.
But it's grape flavored!
I hate grape.
Then it's bacon flavored! Yay!
Oh yeah, by the way, the assassin is doing this at the exact same time our heroes show up. Wow, what convenient timing. We get introduced to another Jedi, Big Chungus. He has the girl that the assassin hired for no reason. The little girl reveals that the assassin looked just like Osha. Wouldn't you know it, Osha enters the room right as her twin sister leaves it. And yes, her sister exits through the stairs and not through the open hole in the roof. Yep, there was a third exit to this room.
Oh no, what a goofy misunderstanding! The Jedi think that Osha was the one who did it!
Luckily for her, the Jedi Knight comes in and says, "No, she wasn't the one who did it. I know because I was stalking her the whole time." Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering how she got to the dead Jedi before Squid Game and the others, well, the Jedi who works here decided to take them the long way around, and she split off from the group and got there quicker. I hope this is the last time the writers use the mistaken identity plot point. Who am I kidding? They're gonna keep using it. Osha disguises herself as her sister and gets the confession out of Ezra Miller's younger brother. Now, they could have used the Force to read his mind, but they decided not to. We get a Jedi Kung Fu fight between Squid Game and the assassin. I'm not gonna lie, I actually really like it. Master Squid Game completely outclasses her, and he even tries to read her mind. Wow, I thought the Jedi in this show actually forgot they had that ability. Master Squid Game tells the assassin that her sister is alive. She yells at him, "You're a liar," and throws a knife at him. Yeah, for some reason she thinks he's lying even though he has no reason to. Also, why would she think her sister was dead? Her sister wasn't in hiding like she was. The Jedi Knight and the Jedi Padawan show up to help Master Squid Games. The assassin is completely surrounded, but she gets away by creating a sandstorm with the Force. Oh no, not sand. That stuff is coarse and rough and it gets everywhere. The assassin girl steals a car from someone, but Osha sees her sister and she has a stun gun pointed right at her. Unfortunately, she's a really bad shot and she misses. I'm joking, of course, she lets her sister get away. And that's basically everything you need to know about this episode. Personally, I think this was worse than the first episode, but it's still not as bad as Ahsoka, Kenobi, or Mandalorian Season 3. At the time of me recording this, the show is already fully out, and from what I've heard, it's the worst Star Wars show yet. So maybe this show will get even worse from here, or people forgot how bad Ahsoka and Kenobi were. Anyways, now let's move on to episode 3, which is where I heard the show actually gets really bad.
Please disperse! Nothing to see here, please!
Now, you're probably already aware of the scene from this show where a group of witches say, "The power of one, the power of two, the power of many." Well, this is the episode where that clip is from. In the last episode, it was mentioned that the poison that was used to kill Jedi Master Game of Thrones was made from the Punta plant, which is only found on the home planet of our main character.
This is Bunta, from my home planet.
Yep, for some reason the assassin girl could have picked all these different poisons from all over the galaxy, but decided to pick one from her own home planet. I guess she just really wanted the Jedis to find out about her identity, which all assassins are well known to do.
It's me, Austin! Oh, son of a bitch! What? It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
It's also not necessary to the story for this poison to come from Osha's home planet. She already knows that the cis assassin is her sister. The assassin looks just like her, she already saw the assassin's face, Jedi Master Squid Games knows it's her sister, and her sister told her she was the assassin in a dream.
I thought you were dead. Did you kill Indara? Yes.
Writers, the audience already knows what's going on. You don't need to give them any more clues. Surprisingly, if the scenes for this mystery were played backwards, the story would actually be better. The population of Osha's home planet is, entirely made up of women who live in a commune. Well, I think Mickey Mouse has finally fully maxed out his ESG score. The episode starts off with a flashback of Osha and her sister. You can tell that it's them because their hairstyle has not changed in 2 decades. They talk about how the Punta tree is dangerous, but only if you eat it, which is something we already knew from the last episode, but the writer still had to tell us for some reason. It's also revealed that Osha's sister was just born evil because she starts torturing an insect with the Force. Oh, I'm sorry, the thread. Yep, on this planet it's not called the Force, it's called the thread, but we'll be getting to that more later on. But yeah, it's made clear that her sister wasn't evil because of some traumatic event in her childhood. She just came out bad straight out of the womb. The 2 sisters are about to go to the Ascension with one of their mothers. Yep, you heard me right, one of their mothers.
Oh, come on now, Jar. 2 women can have a baby in our own reality as long as there's a sperm donor. And since the Star Wars universe is more advanced than our own, then it should be no problem for them to do so. Hell, 2 women should be able to clone a baby.
Well, the thing is, these 2 girls were not made through science, they were made through the Force. Oh, I'm sorry, the thread.
We'll use the Force. That's not how the Force works.
I carried them. I created them.
And what happens if the Jedi discover how you created them?
Yep, remember when Anakin was the only character in Star Wars who was born through the Force? Well, guess what? He's not special anymore. 2 black girls did it first.
What? How can you do this? This is outrageous. It's unfair.
Also, they look nothing like their mother who carried them. And no, I'm not saying that because they have a darker skin tone than hers, but because they ain't got no horns or anything. I believe their mother's race is Zabrakian, or at least half Zabrakian. The twins look a lot more like their other mother. This was the mother who did not carry them, but instead created them with the thread. Now personally, I think it would have been better if they were created by this woman, because she looks a lot more like a witch, and were carried by the other woman, because they actually look like her. The mother who created them spoils them and lets them live freely, but the mother who carried them is very strict, which I guess is supposed to symbolize that they were born from both the light and the dark side of the Force. We see the home base of the Coven of Witches and, yeah, there's 2 moons in the background, one blue and one red. Gee, I wonder if the blue moon is supposed to represent the light side of the Force, and the red moon is supposed to represent the dark side of the Force. The 2 girls want to get some spice cream, which I know is supposed to be a pun on ice cream, but isn't spice like a drug in the Star Wars galaxy? At least in Book of Boba Fett it was. The mother who carried them says, no, you girls can't have any drugs. But their mother who created them, who's supposed to represent the light side of the Force, says, girls, do all the drugs you want. I would make a black joke here, but at this point even I'm offended. Lightside Mommy explains how the thread works to her 2 kids. I think the reason why they call it the thread instead of the Force is because they're all women. They need to tie sewing into this analogy for them to get it.
But we know the thread is not a power you wield.
But you just did, right in front of your kids!
Pull the thread, change everything. It ties you to your destiny. It binds you to others.
So we learned that the, thread ties you to your destiny, but you can also pull on the thread and change everything. That doesn't make any sense. So you're tied to your destiny, but you can also change your destiny? If you can change your destiny, then it's not your destiny. The explanation on how the Force works given to us by Yoda was so much simpler than this.
For my ally,
is the Force. And the powerful all it is. Life creates it. Makes it grow. Its energy surrounds us and binds us.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's an energy force that exists in all living things. But the way this woman is describing the thread makes it sound like a stand from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. We then see a thread beam struggle. Is this like something out of Dragon Ball Z? Their mom beats this random thread user in the beam struggle. But then she has another thread struggle against two of them, and this time she struggles much more. Oh my god, I had no idea that two people were stronger than one person. My mind is blown. The two sisters start fighting for basically no reason, and I'm gonna be real here. The actresses playing them just aren't good. I understand they're child actresses, but can't we get that girl who played Ahsoka? Not the adult one, the child one. Yeah, she was good. That being said, they're still a lot better than the child actress for Princess Leia. God, she was terrible. Now, the good twin wants to leave and explore the galaxy, but the bad twin wants her sister to stay, no matter what. And yes, I mean that very literally. You'll understand in a moment.
How many spice creams are you gonna eat tonight? I think I'll eat at least 4.
Book of Boba Fett established spice as hard drugs. That girl is an addict.
What are you drawing? Stop, don't look.
Oh, you don't want people to see what you're drawing? Then don't draw right in front of them. Why is every character so stupid in this show? Oh wait, I forgot, it's Disney Star Wars. The lesbian space witches are worshipping a plot hole. The twins' mother who created them tell the other witches about how they were exiled, even though the other witches would already know about this information because, you know, they were exiled with her. Yeah, apparently the Jedi saw their power as dark and nearly wiped them all out, and honestly I can't blame them because they're pretty annoying.
Come.
To this show, never. We finally get to the most laughable scene in this entire show.
The power of 1, the power of 2, the power of many.
Someone wrote this, someone looked over what that person wrote and directed it, and a whole bunch of people acted it. And then an editor went over everything and said, yeah, this looks good. Their mother who created them uses the thread to give one of her daughters a tattoo.
That's not how the Force works.
Yeah, I'm just as confused as you guys are. She's about to use the thread to give her other daughter a tattoo, but then the Jedi show up and interrupt everything.
Hide them.
Now I should note that the witches are on a planet far away from the Republic, so the Jedis have no reason to be here, and also the Jedis nearly hunted them to extinction. We're told that if the witches fight back and kill this group of Jedis, that even more Jedis will show up. Now why am I bringing all of this up? Well, it's so you know what's going on and just how stupid things are about to get.
Buckle up, Teddy.
Also, the Jedi showed up at the perfect convenient time, right when the sisters were doing the Ascension. Yep, no matter how far we get in Star Wars, super convenient things keep happening for the plot to move forward. If you look up who directed this episode, you'll find an article about how it was written by someone who's never seen Star Wars before. First of all, why would anyone hire someone like that? And second, Star Wars is the second biggest selling IP behind Pokemon. So how did someone go their entire life without seeing a single Star Wars movie?
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
And third, why would you hire someone like this?
We thought this planet was uninhabited.
You know you didn't actually believe that. They know you didn't actually believe that. And also, this is Star Wars. Almost every single planet is inhabited. Who lands on a planet covered in trees, walks into a fortress, and then says, oh, I thought no one was home?
I find that hard to believe.
Oh my god, a character actually said something smart for once.
Armed. Look at their robes. Are they really sabers?
Oh boy, a group of people I've never seen before. I want to join them.
Also, how does she know what a lightsaber is? She's never seen one before.
We are concerned that you are training children.
Oh, come on now, I think that's a little harsh. They're just a commune of lesbian space witches. They're not Discord mods. By the way, I love how she just said, we thought there was no one on this planet, and now she's admitting that they were spying on them and that they know they've been training children. The leader of the witches tell the Jedis that there are no children here, and then the female Jedi just says, come out, and the little girls come out.
That was easy.
Wow, that was the shortest game of hide and seek ever. This whole scene is just two groups telling each other obvious lies that are easily disproven. They reused a line from Phantom Menace. Who is their father? They have no father. Yeah, remember when Anakin was the chosen one who was conceived by the Force or something? Well, guess what? Two little black girls did it first.
You want to take our children!
On the one hand, yeah, that's kind of what the Jedis are known for. Once they find a child who's Force sensitive, they take them. But on the other hand, these two little girls are even older than Anakin when he first joined the Jedi Order. And the Jedis almost didn't take him because they said he was too old. However, this does take place centuries before the Battle of Yavin, so I guess the Jedi Order's rules were different back then. Actually, now I think about it, this could be a really good plot point. These two little girls, or at least one of them, could be the reason why Jedis would only indoctrinate really young children. But I highly doubt this show is gonna do that.
The Jedi do not take children.
Wait, what? Since when? The Jedis have always indoctrinated extremely young children into their religion. This is such a dumb retcon, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Bruh.
This show is meant to prove that the Jedis are a lot more morally gray than we originally thought. But so far, all they have done is changed all the rules of the Jedi Order.
Stop acting like you know the way ahead, like you know the rules. There are no rules, man. We're lost.
No.
This would be like someone making a video on the evils of America by going over what the Chinese did. Master Squid Games decides to give his lightsaber, which is a lethal weapon, to a little black girl. I get that the music is trying to make this out to be a somber moment, but imagine if he was a cop, he gave a little black girl his gun, and then he screamed out, "She has a gun, get her!" I'm fucked up. Now obviously everyone, I'm joking.
That's the joke.
Lightsabers aren't lethal weapons anymore. Oh no, they stabbed you through the gut? Just walk it off. Master Squid Games tells Osha that he thinks she would make a great Jedi, even though he just met her. Granted, I also don't know why Osha would be interested in being a Jedi. I mean, she has no idea what they even are at this point. Osha's mom decides to use her, I don't know, black magic, to turn Padawan Game of Thrones eyes black. Yep, this is yet another Force power we've never seen before, and it wasn't used by a Jedi or a Sith. Instead, it was used by the most powerful being in the universe, a black lesbian. Yep, this entire group of Jedis are powerless to stop what she is doing to their Padawan. And I want to make this clear, she's clearly the aggressor in this situation. All Master Squid Games did was say, "Yo, Osha, have you ever thought about becoming a Jedi? We could really use you, but only if you want to." And in response, she mindfucks the youngest member in their group. Even Osha's like, "Mom, chill out." The Jedis are being nice people. Even when they're attacked, they're not defending themselves. Meanwhile, Osha's mom is going bananas because her daughter might actually leave the planet and have a better life than what she could give her. This coven of witches is such a cult. Even the Sith are more reasonable than them. Now, on the other hand, Osha's other mother is telling the coven of witches that they should attack the Jedis now.
Mother Coral, I urge you to remain calm. One drop of Jedi blood, and the Republic would destroy us.
Now, at first I was like, oh, even the Coven of Witches are telling Osha's mom she's being a little bit too bloodthirsty. But it turns out they just don't want to attack them, because if they did, they would be genocided.
Burn the heretic! Kill the mutants! Purge the unclean!
Yes, if you attack a rival nation or a rival cult, they're going to attack you back. That's simple logic. But the thing is, the Jedis haven't even done anything wrong yet. They're literally pissed off at them for no reason, and the only reason why they're not attacking them is because they're afraid of retaliation.
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy. We must be cautious.
These witches are evil.
And what happens if the Jedi discover how you created them?
Well, they would probably be blown away with her Force ability to make women pregnant, and they would probably treat Osha and her sister as the chosen ones. I'm not joking when I say that this has to be the most powerful Force ability ever. Just take a large group of women, make them all pregnant with Force babies, and now you have an army of Sith or Jedis.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
So yes, this is yet another thing that Disney Star Wars has added to the Star Wars mythos that completely breaks how the universe works. So this really, really old witch, is that effects or is that how she actually looks? Well, she comes up with a simple plan. All Osha and her sister have to do to not be taken by the Jedis is to fail their test, which is simple logic that any of them should have been able to come up with. Yeah, this coven of witches wanted to murder a group of Jedis before coming up with a sensible plan. All they gotta do is tell the Jedis, sorry, you don't want our daughters, they're autistic. I don't know why the wisest of them had to come up with the most simplest plan ever, but whatever. Osha's sister thinks the Jedis are bad even though she just met them, but Osha thinks the Jedis are good even though she just met them.
This isn't about good or bad. This is about power, and who is allowed to use it.
1, that absolutely sounds like a Sith line. And 2, you should absolutely not be the one with the power. Osha says to her sister, I don't want to lie. Her sister replies with, but you have to, promise me you will. And Osha says, oh, okay. Osha gets tested for her metachlorian count, and then the test begins.
A spaceship.
Bruh.
Okay, I get that she's supposed to fail on purpose, but no one's gonna believe she's actually that stupid.
A mountain.
Correct.
That wasn't a mountain.
Osha is pretending to be stupid so hard that it makes her look stupid for believing that anyone would actually fall for her stupidity. I gotta say, that's pretty stupid.
I was younger than you are. When the Jedi tested me, I was only 4.
I thought you said the Jedis didn't take children. Osha tells her mom that she didn't lie to the Jedis and she passed the test. Osha's mother immediately jumps to the conclusion that they used Jedi mind tricks on her. Honestly, this is purely projection, because that's exactly what she would have done.
Destiny is not decided for you by an anonymous force.
Yes, it is. It's decided by an anonymous source. And not just in Star Wars, but in pretty much everything ever. Osha's mom finally does something good for once and says, yeah, Osha, maybe it wouldn't be so bad for you to join the Jedi. I think you should decide your own destiny. But then Osha's sister comes in and says, no, you can't go. You have to stay here with me. Yeah, she's like your crazy ex-girlfriend, except for their sisters, so this is more weird somehow.
I'll kill you.
Boy, that escalated quickly. Osha's sister is a complete psycho. If you leave, I'll never be able to see you again. Well, you can't keep me here. Yes, I can. I can kill you. If she leaves, there's a chance she can come back. If you kill her, there's no way she can ever come back. What's wrong with you? Wait, what was that? She just put her hand on her shoulder and she just collapsed to the ground. This has to be the worst acting scene in this entire show. Osha takes the Jedi book and lights it on fire, and then, the entire temple erupts in flames, even though it's made of stone. Now, I understand that the person who wrote this episode has never seen a Star Wars movie before, but I have to ask, are they even from Earth? Stone is inflammable. This fortress has to have been here for at least a few hundred years, and it's never had a small fire inside of it before?
Bruh.
What, did they soak the whole place in propane or something? I get that I'm the same guy who didn't have a problem with fire in space, but this is just stupid. The writer wrote this, the set designers made the place, the actors acted it, the director directed this, and the heads of Disney looked at this and said, yeah, this makes sense. If you're someone who likes this show, more power to ya. I'm happy you can get enjoyment out of something like this. But do you at least think that this scene is stupid? Osha is trapped, but then she hotwires a door and escapes. Yes, I know I say escape weird. Osha hears all the witches screaming. Later, she finds out that they're all dead. Now, there's 2 possibilities. A, the fire killed them all, somehow, even though they're all extremely powerful with the Force. Or 2, the Jedis were actually the ones who killed them. If the fire killed them, then this scene is pretty stupid. If the Jedis did it, then it makes a lot more sense. Let's see which one the writers pick. It appears that OSHA's sister blew up the, I don't know, power generator or something. But the real question is, was it OSHA's sister, or was it the Jedis? I'm sure we'll find out later, and I'm sure the answer will be very disappointing. OSHA and her sister are separated from a destroyed bridge. Wow, this is reminding me a lot of the first Captain America movie. Okay, first of all, I don't think she can make that jump, and second, you already threatened to kill her, and you lit the place on fire! OSHA asks about where her mother is, and her sister says, "Mom's dead." They start screaming at each other, "What have you done?" OSHA's sister falls to her supposed death, even though we know she survives. She's in later episodes. God, the whole mystery of this show is played backwards. OSHA almost falls to her death as well, but luckily Master Squid Game saves her with his hand, even though he could have used the Force, but I guess he just didn't feel like doing that. OSHA comes across all the dead witches. They don't appear to have been killed by lightsabers, but they also don't seem to have been killed by fire either. OSHA wakes up on a ship, and Master Squid Game tells her that for some reason the witches started a fire that burnt down a stone temple. Somehow. God, the writing in this show is so bad. The episode ends with the reveal that OSHA's sister is alive. Somehow.
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
What the hell was this episode? I didn't think the show was that bad at first, at least in comparison to Ahsoka and Mandalorian Season 3, but this episode was really bad. Not as bad as the average Ahsoka episode, but still pretty bad. I will say the mystery that this show is building up is intriguing me, but it's because I want to see just how badly they drop the ball. Because at this point, any answer to what's going on will be stupid. Either a small group of Jedis took out the entire coven of witches, or they got killed by a fire that was using stone as fuel to spread itself, and they just stayed in one place and let the fire kill them.
Hey, Jar, what's up?
I just finished watching Acolyte episode 3. It got really bad.
Oh, here I was thinking that you were actually trying to check up on me. Anyways, I gotta go to a funeral.
Oh, who died?
James Earl Jones.
Oh, that's really unfortunate news. Thanks for telling me, Mickey. Anyways, I'm gonna go review episode 4 now. The episode starts with the Wookiee Jedi doing stuff. Cut to a bunch of Jedi Padawans being trained by a ginger Master Jedi.
Gingers have souls! I go to church. I'm a Christian.
OSHA thanks the Jedi Padawan for helping prove her innocence, even though it was Master Squid Game who did that. The Padawan just tagged along, but I guess she does have a vagina.
I was just doing my duty.
Duty means poop. It does.
OSHA says that she's not going to do anything to stop her sister, and that she's not even going to bother to say bye to Master Squid Games. Our hero, ladies and gentlemen. OSHA's sister, and definitely not Sith Master Ezra Miller, land on the Wookiee planet. She walks off, but Ezra Miller stops her and says, you know this planet is like severely uncharted, right? You're gonna get lost.
Then he shows how goofy and clumsy he is and knocks over a box.
He claims that he's trying to help her find her master, and she doesn't put together that he's actually her master. Like, I get that this is supposed to be a big plot twist, but he knew way too much in episode 2. He's clearly her master. We cut to Master Ki-Adi-Mundi, even though he's not born yet. Seriously, I looked up his age. He was 60 when he first met Anakin. The Master Jedi say that OSHA's sister is weak due to her emotions. Even though she's a Sith, not a Jedi. Sith get strength from their emotions, Jedis don't.
She doesn't know her master's identity, but she fears him.
An apprentice who doesn't know their master. It's absurd.
Yeah, of course it is. This entire show is absurd. I want to make this clear. The Master Jedis never refer to them as Sith. Instead, they theorize that they might be a splinter group, even though the only splinter group of the Jedi that there is the Sith. They talk about how this assassin isn't disciplined, even though she has already killed 2 Jedi Masters. If she isn't disciplined, then what does that say about you guys? The Jedis actually do something smart for once, and realize that OSHA's sister is targeting the group of Jedis who went to her home planet. So her next target must be the Wookiee.
You think a Jedi taught her?
I mean, it's either a Jedi or a Sith. She had to learn how to use the Force from somewhere. Definitely not Sith Master Ezra Miller explains to Osha's sister that the whole idea of killing a Jedi without using a weapon is kind of dumb. This whole plot point about killing a Jedi without a weapon is just stupid. Master Squid Games tells Osha that he wants her help in finding her sister, even though she's really out of practice with using the Force. Granted, if there's anything that the Star Wars sequel trilogy, Kenobi, and the Ahsoka show has taught us, is that you don't need practice or training in the Force, you'll just get whatever abilities you need when the plot demands it.
If you come,
Oh, yes!
they will allow us both to go.
He says that if she comes with him, the Jedi Order will allow them both to go. I'm pretty sure he's just saying this to get her to come with him, but why does he need her? Now you can argue that he cares about her, but if that's the case, then why does he want to put her in harm's way? Osha says something that is incredibly based.
I don't want May to get hurt.
She's a murderer.
And Master Squid Games says, yeah, but she's your sister. That doesn't change the fact that she's a murderer. Somehow this convinces Osha to come with him. Apparently she needed to be reminded that the assassin who killed 2 people was her sister. The capybara guy sniffs the little droid, and he gets sprayed with water. No, I do not know why this droid has water inside of it, and no, I do not know what the point of this scene was. The Jedis, along with Osha, land on the Wookiee planet, and they have no idea where he is.
We're looking for a Wookiee. He's big and hairy.
As opposed to small and hairless? All Wookiees are big and hairy.
You mean to tell me you've been naked all these years?
The Jedi, who is played by the guy who thinks that Anakin blew up the Death Star, says to Osha, give me your blaster, and she says no. And he says, okay. They narrow down the Wookiee Jedi's location to this very, very massive forest. Despite the fact that the Wookiee has been missing for over a year, the humanoid capybara is able to track his scent. That's not how scent works. That Wookiee hasn't worn that piece of fabric in over a year. Whatever scent that capybara could have picked up is long gone. Or who knows, maybe the Wookiee actually smelled that bad. If he stunk that bad, I don't blame the Jedis relegating him to this planet. To all the weeaboos in my audience, this is why your parents want you to move out. The Jedi Knight tells Osha that he's really concerned with her safety, and that is exactly why he tried to take away her only method of defense. To be fair, she did miss twice already, so maybe it would be smart of him to take away her blaster. He says that May, Osha's sister, has always been her wound. I mean, I guess she kind of is. May tried to kill Osha, then Osha thought she was dead for over a decade, and now she knows that her sister is a Jedi assassin. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest here, I think that would mess anyone up. The Jedis move through the forest, and there are these big, weird bulges on all the trees. Obviously, this is not something that naturally grows on a tree. There are a bunch of giant alien bugs. For some reason, the Jedis who can sense all the life around them didn't pick up that they were walking into an obvious trap. Luckily, only one of the alien bug things attacked them, and it's easily one-shotted with a lightsaber. Wow, that scene was pointless. I guess the showrunners just put this scene in to pad out the episode. And I'm just talking about it to pad out this review so I get more watch time. We cut back to Osha's sister, who finally realizes the whole idea of killing a Jedi without a weapon is kind of dumb. The Jedis lose track of their capybara friend, who, by the way, has the name Basil. And no, I do not know how a Jedi, let alone a group of them, could lose track of a capybara. Need I remind you, they can sense the life that is around them. May manages to capture Ezra Miller in a trap. He's hanging down from one of those... Actually, what do you call those things? I've seen this exact trap in so many movies, but I never knew what it was called. Now, I want to make this clear. According to an interview, originally she was meant to be hanging from this trap and not him. So this was a last-minute change, and it really messes with the structure of this episode. You'll see in a minute.
You were wrong. Osha being alive changes everything.
She can't even use the Force properly. She's not a threat. And also, she wasn't killing the Jedis because what she thought they did to her sister. She wanted to kill her sister herself. She even says that her loyalty is to Osha even though she was trying to kill her. He warns her that the Jedis are going to kill her because, well, she killed 2 Jedi Masters. But then she's like, nuh-uh, they won't once I tell them what I know. Unless you know how to bring 2 Jedi Masters back to life, I don't think they'll care for your information.
What are you doing?
Osha's sister finds the Wookiee Jedi's house, but unfortunately she trips for no reason. The capybara sees her and screams out her location. She gets inside and sees that the Wookiee Jedi is already dead. Yep, he was already killed by definitely Sith Master Ezra Miller. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, how did he get to the Wookiee Jedi first?
What are you doing?
Well, originally he was supposed to tie her up, walk ahead, and kill the Wookiee Jedi. Then she would get out of the trap, find the Wookiee Jedi, and see that he's dead. But because they reversed that scene for no reason, reason, he somehow got there first even though it doesn't make any sense. I can't believe I have to use the Kronk clip for a third time.
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
Now the Jedis, who are space cops, seeing a black girl standing over a dead body isn't a good look for her. Luckily for Osha's sister, Sith Master Ezra Miller shows up to save her. He ignites his lightsaber. He looks like he's about to kill Osha, but instead he knocks her out of the way for no reason. And we finally get an epic action scene. I won't lie, I've always wanted to see a live-action fight between a group of Jedi and one Sith. He knocks all 8 of them away with a single force push. Oh my god, that's awesome. Don't get me wrong, I wish this action scene was in a show that I actually liked, but at least it gives us a break from the bad writing. Anyways, that's where this episode ends, so let's move straight into episode 5. The episode starts with Osha getting back up, and like most millennials, instead of checking on her friends who are currently getting attacked, she looks for her phone. Just like her sister, she trips for no reason. Osha sees the lightsaber fight through the trees and oh dear god, they're really going all over the place. Unless they're using lightsaber throw, this doesn't make any sense. The Sith Lord is absolutely devastating the Jedi Masters and the Jedi Knights, but then he struggles against the teenage Padawan. The reason why he has the hardest time against her is because she has a vagina. Osha watches the fight. She doesn't use her gun to help, she just stands there and watches.
He's just standing there, menacingly!
But we get to one of the biggest problems with this show. The Sith Lord's armor can destroy lightsabers. He destroys one with his hand, and he destroys one with a headbutt later on. Mandalorian armor can't even do that. Don't get me wrong, this is cool, but it completely breaks how this verse works. This armor can literally make you immune to lightsabers. Why has no one else, aside from this guy, ever worn this armor before? The Sith Lord defeats Yord, and no, he doesn't kill him or chop off a limb, he just singes his skin with his lightsaber or something. The 2 Jedis who had their lightsaber blades destroyed managed to turn them back on. I guess they did the classic method of turning it off and back on. Even though they know their lightsabers are useless against him, they decide to attack him with them anyways. Of course, the Sith Lord easily kills them both. Sith Lord Ezra Miller realizes, I should probably kill that Yord guy. Osha finally uses her gun, and she actually hits something, but it does nothing. It's like when Krillin finally landed the Kienzan on someone, but it did nothing to Perfect Cell. But it does distract him. I guess it was a good thing that Yord didn't take away her gun after all. Osha starts running, and the Sith Lord does not use the Force to stop her or anything like that. I mean, he sent her flying with the Force earlier, he could have killed her there on the spot, but I guess he just didn't feel like it or something. Yeah, it's like Kenobi all over again. The writers establish something, then forget all about it. I mean, he force pushed 8 Jedis all at the same time, but he can't force pull a girl who can't currently use the Force. He uses lightsaber throw to kill her. I guess now he wants her dead, but luckily Master Squid Game saves her.
These games before!
The Sith Lord Force pulls his lightsaber back to him, even though he could have done that with Osha. Jedi Master Squid Game, Osha, and Jedi Knight Yord all stand together. And then Master Squid Game tells Yord to take Osha away from here. Ironically, as soon as she leaves, the show actually starts to get good. The fight between Jedi Master Squid Games and Sith Lord Ezra Miller is actually surprisingly well done. Osha's sister gets the Wookiee's lightsaber, and the Jedi Padawan kicks her in the face. They do not use their lightsabers, instead they have a cat fight. I'm not gonna lie, this show is actually starting to get kind of good. I guess a lesbian really did make this show. The little Jedi Padawan uses the Force to push the Sith Assassin back, even though the same Sith Assassin took out 2 Jedi Masters earlier. The Jedi Padawan cuffs one of her hands and then decides to read out her Miranda rights before cuffing the other hand. Of course, Osha's sister takes advantage of this and starts attacking her. This is why the police handcuff both of your hands before reading out your Miranda rights. Now, I'm a little confused as to why she's resisting arrest so much. I thought she wanted to turn herself over to the Jedi in the first place. She's getting exactly what she wanted, and she's still fighting back against it. Women, am I right, boys? And I'm just talking about it to pad out this review so I get more watch time. We also learned that the Sith Master armor also prevents people from reading his thoughts. So his armor kind of works like Magneto's helmet, except for there's a big problem with this. Both Rey and Leia were able to resist people reading their minds without any Force Force training. This guy is a Sith Lord. He shouldn't need a Magneto helmet, he should just have this ability already. Osha's sister gets a knife up to the Padawan girl's neck, but she manages to break out of it pretty easily. You know, now that I think about it, this assassin ain't so good at assassinations. The Padawan manages to restrain Osha's sister, which is exactly what she wanted, but for some reason she kept on fighting back against it, and somehow this Padawan managed to capture someone who took out 2 Master Jedis, but whatever. I've made this joke so many times before, but Hollywood writers, this is exactly why AI is taking away your jobs. Master Squid Games loses to the Sith Master, and now the Padawan has to face him all by herself. Don't forget that this guy took on 8 Jedis all at the same time, so obviously she is perfectly evenly matched with him. If she was a Master Jedi, this would be fine, but she's a Padawan. This doesn't make any sense. The only way this makes sense is if the writers explain that he was worn out from fighting those 8 Jedis. Some of you may argue this point with your own headcanon, but the thing is, if you, as a fan, could come up with that fan theory, then the writers should have definitely come up with that as an explanation. Now, the Sith Master kind of wins. He destroys one of her lightsabers and then leaves for no reason. Osha tells Yor to turn off his lightsaber because it can attract those bat creatures. For some reason, Yor doesn't know what she's talking about, even though he was right there when it happened. The Sith Master finds Osha's sister and lets her free of her restraints. I just realized you could have probably written her out of that entire action scene and almost nothing would have changed. He then decides he's gonna kill her, even though he just freed her, but Squid Game comes in and saves her. Master Squid Games and the Padawan attack the Sith Lord both at the same time. The Sith Master wouldn't have to deal with this if he killed her when he had the chance. Now, despite the fact that he was pretty even with them one-on-one, now he's taking them both on at once. It's like the Jedis get weaker the more of them there are. Oh my god, they're like hate commons. May runs off, and despite the fact that he's taking on 2 Jedis at once, he decides to chase after her. Priorities, bro. Take care of one problem at a time. Osha decides a little bit too late that they should go back and help the others. She uses her flashlight to attract the alien bat bug things. Master Squid Game's lightsaber is destroyed, so he starts using Kung Fu! I'm joking, everyone. I know he's not Chinese, he's Korean. He's clearly using Taekwondo. Although I'm not gonna lie, this makes me feel like I would rather be watching Cobra Kai right now. Amazingly, Master Squid Games is a better fighter without his lightsaber. The Padawan girl starts wailing on this Master Jedi up to the point where she destroys his helmet. Keep in mind, this guy took on 8 Jedis at the same time earlier. Because he's losing, he decides to pull out a second lightsaber, which he could have done this entire time, but I guess he decided not to for whatever reason. He then stabs a whole bunch of plot holes into her. Don't worry, it's just a bunch of lightsaber wounds going through her body. She'll be fine. Oh no, wait, everybody who survived those only got stabbed 1 time, but she got stabbed 3 times. Oh no, she was killed by the power of many. It's revealed that definitely not Sith Master Ezra Miller is actually Sith Master Ezra Miller. I mean, this twist was kind of obvious. It was either going to be him or one of Osha's mothers. Honestly, I'm really glad it's not one of Osha's mothers. That would have been even more stupid.
She was a child.
You brought her here.
I mean, he is right. You bring a child to the battlefield, they're probably gonna die. He force pulls May, and then chokes her in a normal way.
You really didn't know it was me.
Yeah, she is pretty thick. Why did you choose her as an apprentice? He holds her hostage even though they're on the same side. Technically, Master Squid Games wants them both dead or at least captured. I gotta say, this is a pretty weird plan, and I'm shocked that it actually worked. He reveals to the Jedi that he's a Sith.
Why risk discovery?
Well, I did wear a mask.
That's what the point of the mask is.
But most Siths wear a mask, and you were using a red lightsaber. That thing's kind of a dead giveaway. He reveals that the thing he wants is freedom to use his power how he wants. Then why did you get your apprentice to kill Master Jedis? They weren't looking for you. You started the fight with them, and now they're here to take away your freedom.
She exposed me. So now I have to kill every single last one of you.
Yes, she exposed your location because you sent her out to kill Master Jedis. Yord comes in, picks up the helmet, and they both take out each other's lightsabers. Oh my god, Yord is looking so cool, and oh, his neck just got snapped. I don't know what the purpose of Yord was in this show, but I'm glad he's dead. But at least his sacrifice helped May escape from his grasp. And yes, I know I say the word escape weird. Osha sees her sister, and this time she actually hits her. Master Squid Games is about to kill kill Ezra Miller. But then OSHA tells him to stop, even though this guy just killed like 7 of their friends. The alien bug bat creatures finally show up, and the reason why they're here is so that, Master Squid Games has to turn off his lightsaber so they don't attack him. Yeah, you know how I said earlier that scene where he killed one was entirely pointless? Well, they're still pointless. This is the lamest use of Chekhov's gun I've ever seen in my life.
But Shaw, in the very next scene, she attaches the light to Ezra Miller, and all the alien bat creatures pick him up and carry him away.
Yeah, you're right, she tried to kill him. But do you know who else could have killed him? Master Squid Games, he had his lightsaber right in his face. OSHA's plan to attach a light to a Master Sith only worked because of pure luck, and she literally stopped her master from killing him so she could kill him herself. Also, the alien bat bug things do not kill Ezra Miller. This entire Chekhov's gun moment was literally here so the villain could get away in a very stupid way.
You are very stupid.
May shows up with a stun gun that she somehow got from OSHA. No, I don't know how she got it. And she takes out Master Squid Game so her and her sister can have a little chat. Yeah, Master Jedi just let a blaster shot hit him. May takes OSHA to a private place to have their chat, and she goes pretty far. I guess she wanted to get away from the stench of the Wookiee's corpse. May explains to OSHA that she did everything she did for her sister, even though she tried to kill her sister and her sister's life seemed perfectly fine before she showed up. Also, she thought her sister was dead, so she clearly didn't do this for her.
They've brainwashed you. They've turned you against me.
She grew up in a coven of witches isolated from the rest of the galaxy. You were both brainwashed when you were born. She wanted to leave, you didn't, and after she joined the other group, she later left. OSHA decides to take her sister in, but her sister is a lot more powerful than her, so she loses. She says stuff along the lines of, the Jedis are evil because they don't let you have a family or connections. But ironically, that's one of the things that makes the Jedi so good. They give up everything so they can protect the galaxy. They're not a group that most of us wouldn't want to be a part of, but we would be happy if they showed up to help us. May decides to cut her hair in a very risky way, so she can look just like her sister to take her place. She gets aboard the Jedi ship. The capybara thing does not pick up that she smells completely different. And Ezra, uses Force Heal to save OSHA. So many characters can use that ability now. Darth Vader destroyed the Jedi Order for nothing. So episode 6 is mostly well known for this Ezra Miller looking guy taking off his shirt. I'm not joking, there's like a whole bunch of articles about it. The episode starts with OSHA waking up in a cave. Then she goes outside of the cave and sees that she's on this honestly really cool looking island. Master Squid Game tries to send the message that his entire team is dead and that the Sith are back, but unfortunately for him, Windows 7 crashes. The capybara starts to think the girl who looks like OSHA's scent is very sus. Not OSHA thinks about killing Master Squid Games, even though she could have killed him while he was knocked out. Honestly, I thought she disguised herself as her sister so she could infiltrate the Jedi Order. The capybara recharges OSHA's little droid, and the droid presumably tells the capybara that that's not OSHA. OSHA, watches not Ezra Miller take his shirt off. And it's revealed he has a pretty nasty scar on his back. Now the reason why he's stripping down and getting into the water for no reason is so that she has the chance to take his lightsaber. You know, considering the fact that he was able to send her flying with literally just a wave of his finger, I don't think she can beat him even with a lightsaber. As soon as she grabs his lightsaber, he immediately says, "How does my shaft feel? Is it long and hard?"
Feels good, doesn't it?
She points the lightsaber at him like it's a gun. Huh? Like, wasn't she trained as a Jedi for several years? How does she not know how to use this thing? He gets out of the water, and he's no longer the only thing that's dripping wet. She's so little of a threat that he just talks to her and walks away. You know, you can say a lot of things about OSHA, but she's certainly not a Mary Sue, so I gotta give her props for that. Meanwhile, Master Squid Games gives not OSHA a loving hug. Oh, sure, it's fine when Jedis do it, but when I hug my students, suddenly it's an issue. He tells not OSHA that her sister isn't evil, she was just corrupted by that man. I mean, he is right, this is modern day Hollywood. A woman can never be evil. At long last, Windows 7 boots up. Master Squid Game is about to send a message, but oh no, the power conveniently shuts off at the perfect moment. Luckily, the Jedi Council did receive Master Squid Game's message. Unfortunately, he just told them that his entire team was killed and not that the Sith are back. Not OSHA gets attacked by the capybara, and the droid squirts a hot sticky substance into her face. She grabs the droid and returns it to its original factory settings. No, she doesn't like rip it open or anything like that, she just holds down a button or two. I thought droids in Star Wars were like borderline alive or something. All you had to do to restart a droid's memory was hold down a button or two? Seriously? Oh, and it becomes a Sith, because of course it does. Meanwhile, Not Ezra Miller is teaching Osha about the dark side of the Force. But considering the fact that she already came from a coven of witches, shouldn't she already be familiar with the dark side of the Force? She tells him that he murdered her friends, even though they kind of attacked him first. Then again, he did kill their friend, which was a Wookiee Jedi, so I guess she's technically right. She points out that he killed Yord, and he replies with, yeah, but Yord kind of sucks. He's trying to teach her how to work the shaft.
Turn it on.
She gets the opportunity to kill him, but then he gives her big puppy dog eyes. Master Squid Games thinks Not Osha is really sus, and he uses the stun gun to knock her out. You know, I'll give the show credit for one thing. Ever since the first Star Wars movie, we know that their blasters can not only kill people, but stun them as well. And for most of Star Wars, almost no one used the stun feature. Until this show came along where the writers realized, oh my god, these guns can also be used like tasers. Master Squid Games, for some reason, decides to leave the planet as soon as the Jedi show up to save him. Like literally, their ships are a second off from meeting each other. But this is even further confirmation that 200 years ago, flying through hyperspace was even faster. It only took them a few seconds after they said they're gonna come and get him to send a ship to his location. Osha notices the scar on Not Ezra Miller's back and says that it looks like he was stabbed in the back, even though it's clearly more of a whip mark. The Jedis land on the planet and we finally learn the name of those bat alien bug things. They're called amber moths. They attack the Master Jedi, who is played by Leah Headland's wife, and she uses her lightsaber, light whip, to kill them. So I think it's clear to everyone that she was the person who gave Not Ezra Miller the scar on his back. Now I'm wondering if she backstabbed him or they got a little too kinky. Not Ezra Miller says to Osha, "You wanna know how I got these scars?" And she guesses that he was stabbed in the back, even though it's clearly a whip mark. We also learn that his helmet is a sensory defamation piece as well. Yeah, apparently it blocks out all your senses, so it's just you and the Force. But if that's the case, then how was he talking through it? Was he using Force ventriloquism? Leslie Headland's wife assumes that Master Squid Games might have been the one to kill all the Jedis, to which her Padawan says, if that's the case, then why would he tell us that someone killed them all? Now this guy isn't smart, his intelligence is average. She, on the other hand, is stupid for assuming that. She really assumed that a Jedi Master killed a bunch of Jedis for no reason, and then reported the crime himself. May wakes up and she's handcuffed to the bed. I would make a sex joke, but let's be honest here, you already made it. Osha learns that the helmet is made out of cortosis, and the cave she is currently in has a whole bunch of cortosis ore in it. Yeah, this stuff may be OP, but it's not rare. This guy could make an entire army of droids out of this stuff. If they're immune to lightsaber attacks, then they would be immune to blaster fire as well. This is so dumb. Osha puts on the helmet, and it makes everything look like John Cena. And that's the ending of episode 6. Just 2 more episodes to go. I think I can make it through this.
Hey Jar, how is your review of the Acolyte coming along?
Oh, it's actually going by great. It's nowhere near as bad as Ahsoka, and I only got 2 episodes left. Mickey, what's so funny? Stop laughing, you're scaring me. The episode starts with a recap on how the witch's fortress was destroyed. Yep, it's still the same as it always was. Somehow lighting a book on fire erupted a castle into flames. This episode, just like episode 3, is another flashback episode. For some reason, the Jedis are collecting plant samples and using metal detectors and other futuristic tech to figure out why this planet has life on it. Now don't get me wrong, I like this kind of stuff in sci-fi movies and TV shows, but my problem here is that the Jedis are doing this. They're space wizards and the greatest warriors in the galaxy. What they're doing here is grunt work. Padawan Game of Thrones complains about being on this planet for 7 weeks, which does sound like a colossal waste of time for space wizards. Seriously, what they're doing here is grunt work. These Jedis could be out there saving lives right now, but instead they're doing botany. Don't get me wrong, botany is very important, but I don't want Navy SEALs to be doing it.
So there's some plants here. Big deal.
Calm yourself, Padawan.
Don't tell me to calm down. I hope you end up sacrificing your life to save Sid from Ice Age. We see that one scene from episode 3 where May is torturing an insect for no reason, but this time we see it from the perspective of Master Squid Games. Like most religious leaders, he spends his time spying on children. Okay, I know today that joke isn't very funny, but 10 years ago that would have killed. Now for some reason, Master Squid Games seems very concerned that there are people on this planet. Like he just sees two little girls playing together and he looks absolutely terrified. For some reason, he's shocked that they're not alone, even though it was established in episode 3 that the Jedis were watching them for some time. And also, did they really not scan for life forms on this planet? Maybe that technology hasn't been invented yet. Also, it's pretty convenient that he came across the only other people on this planet. Okay, fine, I'll say the thing. It's another super convenient thing that happened for the plot to move forward. Now, me personally, if I landed on a planet covered in very green, luscious trees, I would assume that there were at least a handful of people living on it. Master Squid Games follows them to their base. He tries to follow them, but oh no, the door is locked. Luckily, he played all the Assassin's Creed games, so he starts scaling the wall. Donald Trump is very unhappy right now. We witness a bunch of scenes from episode 3, but from the perspective of Master Squid Games. The Coven of Space Witches are worshipping a big gash in the ground. I wonder what it's supposed to be a representation of. In all seriousness, this looks like the dark side hole from The Last Jedi. One could argue that this is literally a plot hole. Master Squid Games tells the other Jedis about what he found.
They do not treat the girls like children.
Wait, what? No, they do treat the girls like children. They let them play outside. Is it because they didn't give them smartphones to play on? Is that your explanation as to why the Coven of Witches don't treat them like children?
I fear for the girls' safety.
Why? They seem perfectly safe. They're in a fortress and they have a whole bunch of Force users protecting them. He brings up that they're getting the two girls ready for a ceremony. Yeah, don't tell him about quinceañeras, he'll flip his shit. The Jedis go to the fortress to plan out a rescue mission for the two girls who aren't in danger.
There are over 50 of them.
50 women.
Paste! This show just got really good. Basically, Squid Game says that they should all go in together. She says, no, I want to go in alone. If we all go in together, that will be perceived as a threat. He replies with, aw, come on, please. And she says back to him, okay. Osha's mom, the one who created them, not the one who carried them, decides to project herself into the mind of Padawan Game of Thrones.
There's a really weird scene where it seems like she's trying to force herself on him while he cries about it. An older predator abusing their power to seduce an unwilling young victim while everyone else around them pretends not to notice? Right what you know, eh, Leslie?
Yeah, she's talking to him in a very seductive way, and she basically says, hey, being on this planet kind of sucks. Wouldn't you rather go home? Like, don't get me wrong, he was complaining about this earlier in the episode, but this is such a weird thing to tempt people with. Normally, the devil, a demon, or a very powerful witch would say, don't you want love? I can give you love. Or, don't you want money, power, fame? I can give you all those things. But instead she's like, don't you just hate being at Boy Scout camp? Wouldn't you rather go home and play on the Xbox? I can give you that if we make a little deal. Yeah, now I understand why not even Grace Randolph wanted to defend this episode. The best part is this witch is actually getting through to him.
I want to return to Coruscant.
Please let me go home, it's so boring here. I miss my TV.
Neil.
Oh my mechanical god, she's been Zod this whole time! Yeah, that's what I was like when I realized I had to review this show. Padawan Game of Thrones now has these weird black eyes. No, I don't mean the injury black eye, I mean his eyes are literally black. Now, I'm not a doctor. Hell, I'm not even human. But I can tell you this much, having eyes that are that color can't be good for your health. And the witches did this to him unprovoked, so the Jedis will leave. Yeah, so whichever way you look at this, the witches are the clear aggressors. The Jedis just met them, and they're already getting attacked. Osha is interested in the Jedi test, and then the Jedi Master says one of the dumbest lines of all time.
Mother Anastasia, you cannot deny that Jedi have the right to test potential Padawans. With your permission, of course.
That doesn't make any sense. What if she doesn't give her daughter the permission to take the Jedi test? Then she would be denying the Jedi rights to test a potential Padawan. The line about, with your permission of course, completely ruins how this scene is supposed to be written. Jedi Padawan Game of Thrones is finally released from his mind prison, and he looks so messed up that he might KYS in a few years.
We appreciate your cooperation.
What are you talking about? She mind-fucked one of your Padawans for no reason.
Wow, you only attacked one of us unprovoked? By the Force, you're so reasonable!
Osha's too old to join the Order.
Exactly. So why are you here? Why do you have interest in the two girls? And here's the thing, even if every single one of these Jedis really wanted Osha in the Jedi Order could still reject her based on the fact that she's too old. They only made an exception for Anakin because he was the chosen one. Master Squid Game says that he feels a connection to Osha, and he really wants her as his Padawan. But Jedi Master 2X Chromosomes tells him that the Coven of Witches will never let her leave. Wow, when you put it like that, it almost sounds like you should not even test Osha in the first place. She looks perfectly healthy and happy. She's too old to join the Jedi Order, and the Coven of Witches don't want to give her up. Literally, all of this is happening because Master Squid Games has a feeling she should be his Padawan. And that's it! We're 7 episodes in, and Osha hasn't really done anything. You could completely write her out, and this show would unironically be better. Osha's not a Mary Sue. She's a MacGuffin. You could replace her with a Dragon Ball or a Chaos Emerald, and the plot would almost be exactly the same.
They mocked her sister with dark magic.
Magic.
Ceremonial markings are customary in many cultures in the galaxy.
But Osha did not have one.
Yeah, because they didn't give her one yet because you guys interrupted it. Also, if you knew that her sister had the mark and she didn't, then why didn't you check if May had the mark when she was disguising herself as Osha? This story makes less and less sense the more you watch. Also, so they marked her sister with dark magic. So what? Even now we still don't know what that mark does.
I worry she's not safe.
Why? No, seriously, why? She seems perfectly safe to me.
This won't take long, May.
What is that?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I just need to take a sample of your blood.
No! Osha, don't fall for it! Or maybe you're May. I get you two mixed up sometimes. Oh no, did I just pull a racism? But yeah, doctors always say, oh, the needle's not gonna hurt at all. And it does really hurt. Padawan Game of Thrones just lied to a child.
Ow.
She even said, ow, you did lie to her.
In this test, you must divine what images appear on the testing screen.
What do you want me to do?
She just told you, you impatient child. Pay attention.
Tell us what you see.
A spaceship.
Okay, that actually was a genuine laugh. I didn't force it or anything like that.
It's a giraffe!
Now she's getting things on purposely wrong because her mom's told her to fail the test on purpose. But her answers are so ridiculously wrong that no one would actually believe she's this stupid. Which ironically makes her stupid for believing anyone would actually fall for this.
A castle.
You live in a castle, there's no way you would mistake those two things.
May was instructed to fail.
Oh, it was May in this scene, not Osha. Oh, I really did pull a racism.
I want to be a Jedi.
But you don't even know what that is. You've been isolated on this planet your entire life.
A planet.
Correct.
Okay, so obviously when May was embarrassingly getting everything wrong, she wasn't actually looking at the screen. Her getting things wrong on purpose in the way that she did actually does make sense and shows that her character is smart. But the reason why I thought she was being shown the images on screen at first is because Jedis have never been tested in this way. Sure, in real life, this is how people test if someone has psychic powers. They hold up a card away from the person and say, can you tell me what I'm holding up? Is it Ace of Spades or Queen of Diamonds? But Jedis don't have that kind of ability. Sure, they can somewhat see the future, but that doesn't include bending your sight to see what the person is holding away from you. Is this yet another episode written by a guy who's never seen Star Wars before?
Haha! Actually, Jar, you got this one wrong!
Wait, I did?
Yeah, in Star Wars Episode 1, they trained Anakin like this!
Oh yeah, I only saw that movie 2 times and that was a very brief scene. Looks like I got something wrong for once. Okay, Mickey, you get a gold star sticker for that one. Also, if you guys are wondering about the plot in the background, sometimes I edit those in when I get bored. This is part 3 of it. You can check out the blackwashing video for part 1 and the villain incel video for part 2. We learn that the twins have the exact same amount of force sensitivity, which has never happened before. It could mean they were artificially created, or that they were one consciousness split into two bodies. The only thing powerful enough to create something like this is a virgins. Basically, these two girls are also the chosen ones. Oh, you thought Anakin was the only one? No, two little black girls did it first.
What is this, some sort of startling basement sale?
Now this does explain why the Jedi Order accepted Osha. However, this creates a new problem with her also being a chosen one before Anakin Skywalker. How many chosen ones are there? 50? Osha says, "Mom, I want to be a Jedi even though I don't know what one is." And she says, "Alright, I'll think about it." It turns out Osha's other mother, the one who carried them, was the one that told May she should stop her sister. May breaks the door to keep Osha from leaving and to keep the Jedis from coming inside. But the Jedis have played a lot of Assassin's Creed, so they just climb up the wall. We finally at long last learn how this fortress really burnt down. A book just caught on fire. Yep, that's it. It's just as stupid as it was before.
Fire! 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 Fire!
The witches decide to intimidate the two Jedis who are doing everything they can to de-escalate the situation. I gotta say, this show isn't doing a good job at showing the evil side of the Jedi.
Someday those noble intentions you all have will destroy every Jedi in the galaxy.
Amazing. Every word of what you just said was wrong.
Well, we know that's not true, and also that is such a stupid line. One day your good intentions will kill everyone. Osha runs outside to scream about the fire that is happening, and then, oh my god, this scene happens. Just look for yourself. So Osha's other mother hears about the fire that's happening, so she decides to attack Padawan Game of Thrones. He pulls out his lightsaber to defend himself, and Osha's mom, the one who created them, decides to turn into a smoke demon. What am I even watching? This feels nothing like Star Wars. Master Squid Games is understandably terrified that she turned into a smoke demon for no reason, and he kills her. So yeah, the reason why she's dead was because of a very goofy, strange misunderstanding.
I was going to let Osha go.
That is complete bullshit. You were intimidating them and you turned into a smoke demon. To most people, they would have taken that as a clear no. No! But it turns out that the girl who saw her mom die wasn't Osha, it was May. And that's why she hates the Jedi. Granted, she should just have a hatred for Master Squid Games for killing her mom, but for some reason she swears revenge on all the Jedis who are on this planet. The witches attack the Jedis, and honestly, blocking arrows with a lightsaber looks pretty cool. Yes, I know it doesn't make any sense, but at this point, I'll just take whatever I can get. Osha's mom, the one who's still alive, ain't doing so great against Master Game of Thrones. But then her and the rest of the witches all decide to turn into smoke demons and possess the Wookiee.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
We get an action scene, which means we finally get a nice break from all the bad writing. And I'm not gonna lie, the action is completely serviceable. Sure, there are some dumb moments, but I'm just glad we got a break from the bad writing. Jedi Master 2X chromosomes frees the Wookiee Jedi from the control of the witches, which somehow causes them all to die.
I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Master Squid Games tries his best to save both May and Osha, but unfortunately he can't save both. He has to make the tough decision and only save one. Obviously, he picks the one that isn't a little psycho. So all we learned from all of this is that the witches are clearly in the wrong and the Jedis were just fighting to defend themselves. Master Squid Games tells Osha, everyone you know and love is dead. And then the episode finally ends. My god, this was a bad one. Not as bad as episode 3, but it's a close second. At least I only have one more episode to go over, and then I'm finally done with this show for good because it has been officially cancelled. Episode 8 starts with a recap on, well, everything that's happened this season, and we're left asking ourselves, how in Yoda's name are they gonna give a satisfying conclusion for this season finale? Right now, I don't think any director or writer could make a satisfying payoff for this season. Nothing makes sense, and there's so many dangling threads that there's no way they can wrap up everything. The episode starts with Osha wearing the helmet, which allows her to be alone with the Force. This somehow causes her to possess Ezra Miller, but he still manages to take the helmet off of her. Osha apparently sees a vision of the future where her sister May kills someone without a weapon. Oh my god, they're still on about that! Osha and Ezra Miller don't trust one another, but she knows the location and he has a ship, so they have to go together, even though he can also use the Force to find her location, but he decides not to for whatever reason. Now that Squid Games knows that both May and Osha are alive, he can finally prove that the Virgins thing is real.
Proof what? That murdering our mother was justified?
Your mother attacked him first! You saw it with your own eyes! He did not murder her! Even Master Squid Games tells her that it was an accident.
Why did you lie to her? Why did you blame it on me?
You started that fire.
And I still don't know how you pulled it off. I mean, like, how do you set stone on fire like that? That was so weird.
You locked everyone in.
Because the Jedi invaded our home.
No, they didn't. They just came by. All the witches clearly were attacking them.
You and Osha are not twins. You're not even sisters. You're...
Of course she interrupts him right before he gives the reveal. Also, apparently Osha's little droid had a built-in taser for some reason. Like, seriously, at this point, what can't her droid do? May leaves through the escape pod, even though she clearly had the advantage over Master Squid Games. I really thought she wanted him dead more than anything, but I guess not. Oh wait, she didn't go into an escape pod, she went into an escape ship. And he, of course, chases after her. She tries to lose him in one of those Saturn rings-like things, because her ship is smaller and he's too big to follow, but he follows her anyways. I won't lie, this scene does look nice, and yes, I know that Saturn rings don't actually work like this. You don't have to tell me in the comments. She gets away because the capybara sabotages his ship for no reason. This causes them both to tumble, and she crash lands on the planet. Master Jedi Leslie Headland's wife is contacted by a senator. He wants to know why she didn't report the murder investigation to the Senate, and she accidentally lets it slip that multiple Jedis have been murdered. Like, imagine if multiple Navy SEALs were getting murdered left and right, and their commanding officer knew about it and didn't report it.
I think the Jedi are a massive system of unchecked power, posing as a religion. A delusional cult that claims to control the uncontrollable.
Oh my god! That's exactly how I feel about writers in Hollywood! But in all seriousness, this is the absolute best line in this entire show. This is something I've always wanted a senator to say in Star Wars. Yes, the Jedis at this point in time hold way too much power, and any senator should be suspicious of them. But then, of course, this really good line is followed up by a very stupid line.
You project an image of goodness and restraint. But it's only a matter of time before one of you snaps. And when, not if that happens, who will be strong enough to stop him?
Yeah, in hundreds of years, not one single Jedi snapped. If that's the case, then they seem like a very trustworthy group. And if one of them does eventually snap, well, he's just one out of 10,000 Jedis. The other 9,999 Jedis can stop him. She tells him to GTFO, and he says, I reported what you did to the Senate, so you better have the criminal in custody by then.
I give you the impression that I was a fair person.
Yes, you did. You made a deal with my sister, and you expected her to uphold it. That's fair.
He tried to murder her! That's not fair at all!
You should be trained. Would you ever consider?
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest here, bro. She's way too lazy to do that. They leave the planet together, and we get a reveal that pissed a lot of people off. Yep, Dark Plagueis the Wise was on that planet with them. Honestly, I didn't know he was alive 200 years ago, but he's in the show for legitimately no reason. He doesn't do anything. Maybe he was gonna do something in Season 2, but the show never got a Season 2. We cut to Master Squid Games, who lands on the planet that Osha's sister crash landed on. And yes, the planet is brimmed dark. Osha and May's home planet. Because out of all of the planets she could have landed on, it had to be that one. It's yet another super convenient thing that happened for the plot to move forward. As soon as he sends out a distress signal, the Jedis immediately go to that planet. Osha, along with Ezra Miller, also arrive on the planet around the same time. Master Squid Games walks past the giant plot hole. Despite being right next to Osha, Ezra Miller somehow disappears from her sight. I'm sure he used Force Teleport or something. Master Squid Games is looking for May, and Osha manages to fix the door that has been broken for decades. Yep, apparently she just had to mess with the wires a little bit. Sith Master Ezra Miller finds Squid Games Master Jedi, and they have an epic fight. Honestly, this fight is awesome. It's the best one we've had in this entire show, and it really feels like Star Wars. Red lightsaber versus blue lightsaber. Dark versus light. dual-wielding a lightsaber and a light dagger is just so awesome. This is what Kylo Ren should have had instead. Also, yes, I know short lightsabers are called Shoto sabers, you don't have to tell me in the comments. The scene where Ezra Miller uses double lightsaber throw, and then Squid Game shooting out this force projection wave to block all of it, was just so awesome! Unfortunately, we have to take a break from the action to see May and Osha talking about stuff. Osha explains to May that she never became a Jedi, because May messed her up too much as a kid. Honestly, if I had May as a sister, I would also be pretty messed up. But then May retorts with, "Nuh-uh, I saw Master Squid Games kill our mom with my own eyes." Of course, she leaves out the part where their mom turned into a giant smoke demon. Osha attacks May with Taekwondo, but then she discovers that her little droid has been made into a Sith, and it squirts a hot liquid into her face. I'm not gonna lie, the action is pretty good, and I kind of find it cool that Osha is acting more and more like May while she's wearing her clothes, while May is now wearing Osha's clothes and she's acting more and more like Osha did. This really shows us the influence their masters had over them. Now yes, May was a messed up kid, but she had the other mother raising her primarily, while Osha had a mom who let her live more as a free spirit. I can totally see what the writers were going for. The problem is the execution was terrible. First of all, yeah, Osha did receive some training from the Sith Lord, but May did not receive any training or guidance from Master Squid Games. I know I bash this show as well as many other Disney Star Wars shows, but the thing is, I want them to be good more than anything, and every time they're on the track to doing something actually good, they fail at it. Other members of the Jedi Council show up, even though Master Squid Games only sent out his distress signal a few minutes ago, which further proves that jumping to hyperspace was even faster 200 years ago. Either every planet is a lot more closer together, or the Jedi's learned instant transmission. We cut back to the action with Master Squid Games as Ezra Miller. Oh, it's so cool! Until Squid Games puts Ezra Miller's lightsaber on top of his lightsaber to push it towards his face, and then he pushes him away, turns off his lightsaber, turns it back on, and defeats him. Okay, that was weird. Yeah, I watched this scene a few times over, I still don't get it. Master Squid Game has the chance to kill Ezra Miller, but he just stands there for no reason.
He's just standing there, menacingly!
May comes in and sneaks attacks Squid Games. Even though he's more powerful than her and has a weapon, she somehow beats him. Ezra Miller tells May to kill the man who killed her father, but then she throws away the lightsaber because, she has to kill a Jedi without a weapon, even though her master hasn't done that once. So after all this build-up, how is she gonna kill a Jedi without a weapon? Well, she doesn't. She just tells him, "Hey, turn yourself in. Confess your crimes to the High Jedi Council."
Yep, all that talk about killing a Jedi without a weapon was all for nothing. It led to nothing. Holy shit, this was a big waste of time.
The writers set up a stupid plot point that they didn't even follow through with because they didn't know how to. And no one would. It's stupid. Master Squid Games finally reveals that Osha and May are actually the same person. I somewhat saw this coming right before the reveal happened because, well, they were clearly trying to show the whole nature versus nurture thing. But how or why are they the same person? Well, the explanation is that their mother was really powerful and created them with the Force. That doesn't really answer the question. And then for no reason, Squid Games admits that he killed their mother, leaving out the fact that he did it in self-defense. Osha hears her master confess to this and she's really upset about it.
If it was the right thing to do, why didn't you tell the Jedi?
Probably because no one would believe him that she turned into a giant smoke demon.
Why didn't you tell me?
They would have sent you away.
Wait, what? No, she asked why didn't you tell me? Not why didn't you tell the Jedi Council? And also, they sent her away anyways.
You were too old to train.
Exactly, that's why she shouldn't have been brought to the Jedi Temple in the first place.
They never would have let you become a Jedi.
Yes, you knew that they wouldn't have let her become a Jedi. Why did you bring her to the temple in the first place?
I did what I thought was best for you.
Her life was fine before you showed up. You intervened for no reason. Master Squid Game almost confesses his love for Osha, but then she defeats him without a weapon by using Force Choke. This entire show, she had no powers whatsoever, and just randomly, out of nowhere, she pulls a Sith power out of her ass. The evil within her heart makes her fill her kyber crystal up with hate, causing it to bleed. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is one cool change Disney did make to Star Wars. The way red lightsabers are made now is way cooler than how they were made in Legends. Now granted, I thought the process took a little bit longer than this. Also, for her to turn to the dark side this quickly is a little bit silly. Turns out she was actually the evil twin this entire time. What? You thought this show was trying to show you nature above nurture? Haha, no, nature is way more important than nurture. This also implies that she just sucked at using the light side of the Force because, well, she wasn't built for it. Instead, she was built for the dark side of the Force. She kills Master Squid Game without a weapon, even though I would count the Force as a weapon. She attacks Ezra Miller, but then her lightsaber turns pure red. Honestly, the way it turns red is kind of cool. Jedi Master Leslie Headland's wife immediately detects Ezra Miller's location. Yep, this is yet another new Force power that not only breaks how Star Wars works, but how this show works. Sensing the life that is around you is one thing, but immediately detecting someone's location is another. Sure, since Return of the Jedi, we know that Force users can sense other Force users, but not specifically who the Force user is. If that was the case, then the Sith assassin wouldn't even have to do reconnaissance. She immediately would be able to detect her target, and her targets would be immediately able to detect her. Why did they even bring the capybara to help them find the Jedi Wookiee? All those Jedi should have been able to just detect him with the Force. Oh, and these Jedis also decided to bring the capybara with them because why not?
Come with me.
She said come. May and Osha make a run for it. The Jedis try to open the door, but it's still broken. But then, Jedi Master Leslie Headland's wife uses the Force to open it. Yep, all those decades ago, the Jedis could have just done this. The door was broken for no reason.
Come this way.
She said come again. May reveals how she got out of the temple after she fell to her death. Apparently, there was a hidden passage down there.
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
Master Leslie Headland's wife, uses the Force to hear voices from the past. Okay, that's a really weird ability. But Jedis can see into the future, so I guess it's not that out of the ordinary. And even though there's a Sith on the loose who has killed a lot of Jedis, she decides to tell her Jedi team to split up. Also, all the Jedis immediately forget they have the ability to detect the location of specific Jedis. Yep, this was yet another power that was introduced, then immediately forgotten about. Osha and her sister make it to that stupid tree.
I'm sorry I started that fire.
Forget about apologizing for doing it. Explain how you did it. Osha and her sister make up. Ezra Miller says he wants to see some girl-on-girl action. Osha agrees to train with Ezra Miller, Master Sith, if he agrees to let her sister go. Then Osha and Ezra Miller wipe May's memories of them for some reason. Apparently Osha has to do what she was meant to do, whatever that is. The Jedi show up and arrest May, believing that she is Osha. The Sith droid is also arrested for squirting hot liquid into women's faces. We learn that May's last memory is from when she was 8 years old, and Jedi Master Leslie Headland's wife learns the truth, that Squid Games killed Osha's mother. Then she says to May, yeah, I know he killed your mom, but he still was a really great guy. She then lies to the Jedi Council that Master Squid Games was the one who killed all of those Jedis, completely destroying his legacy to cover up her mistake. A bunch of really slow moments happen that will build up stuff that will happen in Season 2, the season that will never come out because the show has been cancelled, and then we see the back of Yoda's head at the very last scene. I gotta give the show props for one thing, it didn't ruin Yoda or Darth Plagueis the Wise, they just showed up and did nothing. So what are my ending thoughts on all of this? Well, it's certainly a bad show, that's for sure. But I can tell it has a lot of potential. If they just changed a handful of things, I could actually see this being a pretty good show. A few rewrites were definitely needed, and it needed to be worked on by people who actually have seen Star Wars before. I know a lot of people have claimed that this is the worst Star Wars show yet, but after I saw Ahsoka and Mandalorian Season 3, I have to disagree with that. Hell, I wouldn't even say it was bad as Kenobi. The show seemed more confusing confusing and aimless than anything. I don't even think the show knew what it was trying to convey or where it was supposed to go. It really felt made up as it went along. The mystery aspect of the show wasn't handled well at all, neither in payoff or execution. I'm sure season 2 of this show would have been even worse by far. Luckily, it got canceled before that could happen. From what I've been told, Star Wars Skeleton Crew, the show that came out after this one, was actually pretty good, but no one watched it. Anyways, I've been reviewing a lot of shows that I really hate, so I'm gonna review a show that I actually like, Dan Versus. I hope you guys check it out because I'm gonna be the first person to review every single episode of that show. Hello, Editing Jar here. The full review of Dan Versus is going to take longer than I originally thought. Luckily, my review of iRobot is already finished, so I'm going to go over that one next time. Now, videos like this cost a lot of money to make, and I want to increase the budget even more. So if you could find it in your heart to donate to me on Patreon, that would be a big help.